All right. What is going on, guys? It's Tazz here, and welcome back to the Legion Lounge. Now, this week I am going to be streaming by myself. My brother cannot make it this week, so he will be back next week, though, because we will have quite a bit to talk about, as next weekend is the second part of DC Fandom. So, yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about next weekend, but for today, it is just me, and we have quite a few topics to go over, and yeah, so without any further ado, guys, let's just get into it. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if I can carry a stream all by myself. But the first topic that I have written down here on my little notepad in my phone is, of course, Call of Duty Cold War. So there have been a lot of leaks going around. Like a really leaky faucet at Treyarch has just burst. You know, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, first things first, the elephant in the room. Obviously, there's been gameplay going around. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics as far as what this gameplay entails. I'm just going to say it looks interesting, it looks cool, it looks kind of like a combination of Modern Warfare, Black Ops 4, maybe a little bit of Black Ops 2 sprinkled in there, and even, dare I say, a little bit of Infinite Warfare. But yeah, it looks interesting from the gameplay. Of course, it's an alpha build that we're seeing, so I'm not really sure how reflective that is of what we're going to actually see when we get to our kind of, I guess, multiplayer reveal. I guess that's what they're calling it. It's the multiplayer reveal that we're getting at some point next week. So yeah, there's some gameplay going around. It looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. There are some people saying that they don't like it, some people saying that they love it, but I'm going to reserve judgment until we get a real reveal, you know? So that's just me, but we'll see where that goes. But something else from this leak, or from, I guess, the sort of set of leaks for Modern Warfare, or not for Modern Warfare, for Black Ops Cold War. Supposedly there's no prestige mode. Officer rank challenges, officer ranks are supposed to be coming back. No prestige mode? Are you kidding me? Treyarch? Come on, Treyarch. We need a prestige mode. In my opinion, the officer rank system that we have in Modern Warfare currently is the whole reason why I don't find myself wanting to come back a whole bunch. Like, I come back to grind out, you know, new guns and stuff like that when new weapons are unlocked or are released through the battle pass or whatever. Cool, that's fun to come back to. It's fun to go through and get camos on your guns and everything, but the biggest thing that kept me coming back in past Call of Duty games has always been the prestige mode when we don't have a game with like a zombies or an extinction or a exo zombies or whatever. When we don't have that extra game mode in there, the only thing that really keeps me coming back to the multiplayer is, of course, the prestige mode. Now, this year with the officer ranks, it's a little bit different. Instead of going up to your level 55, level 60, 70, whatever your quote-unquote max rank is before you can get to prestige mode. Before you get to that, obviously, you're going through, you're unlocking all these weapons for the first time, you're doing challenges. Once you get to that initial level cap, then you unlock the ability to either stay where you are with everything unlocked, or you can go and prestige. Now, with prestige mode, you get a couple of new things. You get a cool little icon next to your name, you get some new challenges, you get a permanent unlock token because usually everything gets relocked except for your challenges, so you can continue those, but all your guns get relocked, all your perks, all your sometimes your attachments, it just depends what game it is. But yeah, so you have, for the most part, you start back at level 1, but with a new emblem next to your name and an extra level of prestige, you know, because hence the name prestige mode. One second. Gotta get some, gotta get some tea in there. But anyway, back to prestige mode. So, you prestige, right? You're back at level 1, you go through everything again, and there's usually 10 to 20 prestiges in a game. it's usually 10 with a master prestige, and then in recent games, what they've done is you get up to that max 10th prestige level 55, then you are prestige master, and then post-launch, they've actually added in an extra like 1,000 levels to go through, so you can continue leveling up after you've hit prestige master, and you still have something to work towards. And what that is to work towards is new prestige icons. You're allowed to change what your prestige icon looks like, and that's really cool to me. I actually never ended up getting that far because, I don't know, I just never ended up playing the recent games that much. I got up to Prestige Master in Black Ops 3, and that was the newest COD that I got to Prestige Master in. Like, I got to Prestige Master between Black Ops 2, I think it's Black Ops 2, Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and then Black Ops 3. Those are the CODs that I got to Prestige Master in, and the rest I've never actually gotten to that point, and I've never been able to kind of experience that level 1000 grind, but to me, that's a lot more rewarding, that's a lot more fun, that makes me want to come back to the game a lot more than, hey, two months have passed, here's a new season, you were level 155, but no, you get to go back down to level 55. I don't know, to me that just doesn't seem fun, that doesn't seem rewarding. Officer rank challenges aren't very rewarding. I only completed all of them for one season, and that was like season 4, I want to say, is the season that I did it. Whichever one, you get the red emblems. So instead of prestige icons now, instead of changing the icon next to your rank, that's forever the sort of 5-star general thing when you're at level 155. But now you get these emblems. Some people like the emblems. I think they're cool, but what I would much rather have are actual prestige emblems next to your rank, next to your name, instead of, you know, something next to your calling card in the menu. But that's just me. Let's see. But, I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't think having worked that hard to get yourself from level 55 up to 155, and then only getting emblems every, like, 10 officer rank challenges that you complete, and there's, like, 100 of them to complete. So once you get to level 155, once you complete all 100 officer rank challenges for whatever season you're in, then you unlock that kind of master emblem. It's an animated emblem. It's a very cool emblem, might I say. But I would much rather have that next to my rank in the lobby, rather than that just being an emblem next to my calling card. So anyway, very long-winded on this. I'm very passionate about it. I love the Prestige mode. I think if you guys are looking for more on this, Prestige is Key made a very awesome video on that a couple days ago. He basically said similar things to what I said, but overall, I think Cold War needs a Prestige system to keep at least my attention, and dare I say, the community's attention between seasons and everything. I just don't think resetting your rank every couple of months is something that I'd like to go through for another year, you know? But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think down there in the chat, but that's just me. So, oh, before we move on from Call of Duty, if you guys have been following the sort of marketing campaign for Cold War, one of the things that they actually did was introduce the old game. It's this old game called Zork. So if you guys remember back in Black Ops 1, if you got out of the interrogation chair, you could go over to the little terminal, you could enter Zork into the terminal. You'd get an achievement, that would pop. But you could also play this game called Zork. It's like a text input based game. There's no real complexity to it. You just kind of tell your character where to go, what to do. You don't really see anything other than this text input. But it's very cool. It doesn't sound super interesting, but it is. Just trust me. If you guys want to check it out, go over to pawntakespawn.com, which is their sort of marketing website or whatever that they used for it, and you can go over there, you can make an account. It's separate from your sort of Call of Duty Activision account, but you can go through it, you can play Zork. There's something that you can actually unlock after, you know, completing the game. You can unlock a little skin for, I think it's the truck in Modern Warfare in Warzone, so it's pretty cool. It's nothing crazy, but if you want to, you know, pass some time, play an old classic, play some Zork, I definitely suggest you guys go do that. It is pretty fun, and it is something that kind of kept my attention for a couple nights for sure. But, oh yeah, before we move on from Call of Duty, did want to also address the new kind of personalization pack. They haven't called those personalization packs in a while, but sort of the new pack that they released in the store. I like to call it the High Ground pack. It's pretty cool. If you guys have seen it, you guys know what's in it. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get the stream totally demonetized, but it's a cool pack. It comes with some really cool stuff. If you have the COD points to spare, or, you know, $10 burning a hole in your pocket, definitely go give that pack a little buy and see what you think about it. But yeah, moving on to the next topic that I have here. The DC TV stuff. CWverse, I made a video earlier this week on the sort of CWverse trailer, talking about it's pretty much just a little hype teaser, because next week, as I said at the beginning of the stream, next week is the second part of DC Fandom, where we're going to be getting a lot more info on the DC TV side of things. We're going to be getting extended panels for The Flash as well as Titans, which had panels at the original version of Fandom, or day one of Fandom, might I say. So yeah, we're going to get extended versions of those panels, and then panels for the rest of our shows, and it's going to be pretty awesome, I think. Man, it's kind of hard to like keep conversations going and then go over, get a drink of my tea over here without a co-host. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't want to take too much time of kind of dead air here, but anyway, what was I saying? DC TV stuff, yeah. So next weekend, might I say, which is, what is it going to be? The 12th, I want to say. Pull up calendar real quick. Yeah, Saturday the 12th is when we are getting our second part of DC Fandom. It's going to be pretty fun. I wouldn't expect anything crazy. Like, I don't think we're going to get any new trailers or anything, because we did see the Flash trailer. Unless they want to give us like an extended version of that, but I don't think so, because there's really not much else they could show us without kind of completely just giving us that entire episode, because the episode that they had the trailer for was supposed to be episode 20 of last season for The Flash, and then now obviously that's being repurposed into episode 1 of season 7, and it's going to have to get kind of reworked into a premiere rather than just another episode at the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how that all plays out. But from that trailer, it looked really good. Again, I did do a breakdown on that like a couple weeks ago at this point now, I think. But yeah, it was pretty fun. There have been rumors that we could get an extended version of that trailer, but I don't know. I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't go into the second part of Fandom saying, oh yeah, we're definitely going to be getting an extended trailer of that original Flash trailer. But, you know, they could surprise us. They could definitely surprise us. And speaking of surprising us, something that could be happening, maybe. I mean, we'll see. But there's a possibility that we could maybe get a reveal for Green Arrow and the Canaries, that it's happening. Now, I'm not sure how likely that is, but here I have the tweet pulled up. Let's go over to it. No, actually, my webcam would totally cover it up. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the tweet says. It doesn't matter what the tweet is. But anyway, there's just a tweet that came out for DC Fandom Day 2 that said that it's going to be showcasing all of the Arrowverse panels, and then a quote-unquote breaking news panel. And people are taking this breaking news panel as a possible Green Arrow and the Canaries reveal. And now, again, this is something that I did mention in my video earlier this week. When I did break down that CWverse, Arrowverse trailer, whatever you want to call it. I did say that I think it's very unlikely that this show is going to happen. I really do. They've waited so long between when they said it was in development and then now. Like, it's been the better part of a year that we've known that this show has been in the works, you know? But they could always surprise us. They could always surprise us. I think it's hard nowadays to kind of get new shows off the ground, to get pilots filmed. I've heard of different shows that, like, they have ideas for pilots and everything, and then they just can't get them filmed, so the shows just get canned. So with Green Arrow and the Canaries, we have a backdoor pilot in Arrow Season 8. So there is a proof of concept for this show that already exists. So technically, that could be used as their pilot, and they could be ordered straight to series. Just like Superman and Lois got ordered straight to series because of, obviously, it's Superman and Lois, but also because we've seen those characters in the past. We saw them in Elseworlds, we saw them in Crisis. So that was kind of the proof of concept. They don't need to go through that whole process of making a pilot, waiting a couple weeks, or a couple months even sometimes, for like studios, like for it to be kind of like shopped around to different studios and everything, and then finally get picked up by a network. For this, we've already seen what Green Arrow and the Canaries could be. We have a backdoor pilot in Arrow Season 8. It could happen. It could happen. This could be the breaking news from this panel. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Because there hasn't been enough talk about it. Like, there have been a couple of things here and there. I think it was Mark Guggenheim that said it a couple of months ago. Or, like, there was some interview with somebody saying that, like, a couple of months ago, saying that if the show wasn't picked up, then the story could either be finished somewhere else, like in a different, on one of these shows, on one of the Arrowverse shows, or in a comic book. Now, I think we're going to get a combination of that, honestly. I think we could get a comic for it. There was, like, some Crisis tie-in comics, so they could technically do the same thing with Green Arrow and the Canaries. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that I don't want this, because that would be false, because I would enjoy this show. I would watch it for sure. I'd watch it, I'd cover it. But also, I don't think it's the best option for them to go with as far as a show goes right now. I think there's so many great Arrowverse shows, or CWverse shows, whatever you want to call it. I think there's so many great DC TV shows on the CW right now. They've got new shows like Stargirl, and Superman and Lois is starting next year as well. They don't need to add another show into the mix, especially right after Arrow ended. Now, I love these characters. I really do. I think Laurel was amazing last season. I thought Dinah was pretty great as well. Mia, I think, with some tweaks, could actually be a pretty good character. But just the way the show has been pitched to us right now, in the state that it's in, the way the backdoor pilot was when it aired in Arrow Season 8, I just don't think that show, Green Arrow and the Canaries, is going to happen. I think the Canaries could happen, where Laurel and Dinah are the leads. Maybe no Mia, maybe no Future, maybe it's in present day. But again, if it was like in Star City or something, then that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of Arrow being over. Then it's just an Arrow continuation, and pretty much everything that Oliver worked for is null and void at that point if Star City is back to how it was, you know? So, I don't know. That's just me. I just don't see this show happening, you know? I think I'd be on board with it if it were to happen. I think some changes would have to be made for it to be the type of show that I would like to watch. But who knows? I think it could happen. It could definitely happen. stranger things have happened. We could all be surprised, and the breaking news could be Green Arrow and the Canaries. But I just don't think it will be. I just don't think it will be, unfortunately. But anyway, that's pretty much that for all of the DC stuff, other than, did also want to mention, Batwoman has started filming. They released a little video on social media with Javicia Leslie kind of just promoting, hey, she's the new Batwoman, we're back to filming. You'll see stuff soon. And I think that that's great. Like, honestly, I really do. And yeah, from that video, Javicia Leslie seems like she is so into it. Like, and that is great. That puts me at ease as far as this show goes, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be just like a mess when the show starts back up because they're changing Batwoman and everything. It's going to be crazy. But I think when you have now this lead actor that's totally 100% on board, she seems to really be into the character and like loving it. But yeah, I think that with her in that lead role and promoting the show as much as she is, and sort of being welcomed in by not only the cast, but I see a lot of fans also being, you know, very welcoming and everything to her. I think the show is going to be really good this year. I think it really is. I think we're going to hopefully get a look at that suit very soon. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than I'm excited. I'm optimistic. Not even cautiously optimistic. I'm very optimistic. I'm very excited. Coker Project in here with the in the chat. Good work, my boy. Yes, good work to you as well on TikTok. I'm gonna shout you out. Dude, your TikTok is blowing up, bro. That thing's amazing. That's crazy. I don't know how you got it to blow up as much as it did, but you got to give me some pointers. Give me some pointers on that. But yeah, anyway, back to DC stuff. I think we're not going to be getting as much in the set picture department this year either. Because think about it. They're going back to filming. They're avoiding crowds. They're avoiding exterior shots. They're avoiding outdoor shots. A lot of stuff is going to be filmed now inside on sound stages in very secluded sets. So we're not going to get people like Canadagraphs or anybody out there anymore getting these shots of sets and leaking stuff to us. So I don't think we're going to be getting that much set news, that many leaks or anything this year, unfortunately. And that's going to kind of suck as far as like video making goes, because, you know, that was kind of my bread and butter back in the day. Is like, you know, you'd get a picture online, be like, oh, new look at the Flash suit, because they were filming outside and they were in a crowd and people snapped a picture of it. And it's like, you know, that's a video right there. But with everything now kind of being inside and not as public because of obviously all the restrictions and trying to be safe and everything, totally understandable. But we're probably not going to get as much in that sort of like leak department anymore. So that's kind of unfortunate, actually, now that I think about it. But it's again, I think it's kind of a watch this space. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see kind of what the new norm as far as leaks go are. But, you know, we're just not going to, it's not going to be the same. And that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, what do we have next here? Okay. Time to get a little edgy for a second. Time to get a little edgy. Yeah, so if you guys were unaware, there is a little bit of drama going on right now between Warner Brothers and Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher being the actor who plays Cyborg in the DCEU currently. Now, obviously, everybody knows the story of the Justice League reshoots. Zack Snyder was on board. He was directing the movie. Everything was going fine. And then tragedy struck. He had to leave. He had to kind of, you know, leave the movie in the hands of Warner Brothers and Joss Whedon, and they had to do some reshoots. They had to get this movie out. They had a deadline to meet. It had to be, it had to be pushed out when it was pushed out. So Zack Snyder left. They brought Joss Whedon in. Joss Whedon did the reshoots. That's how we got the sort of, mustache CGI Superman thing. That's why we have all the, everybody hates on Justice League always. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a fun popcorn flick. I mean, I think 6.5, 7 out of 10. I don't think it's that bad of a movie, but a lot of people hate it, and that's how we got the Snyder Cut stuff. And it's great to see that a director's vision is actually coming to fruition with the Snyder Cut. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch it. It's on HBO. It's gonna be on HBO Max next year. I think it's gonna be great. But this stuff with Ray Fisher and Warner Brothers now, supposedly there were some issues on set when they brought Joss Whedon in for the reshoots. And now, this is a tricky situation because this has been going on for a couple of months now. We've seen things on Twitter. He's made comments during live streams that he's done about just certain things that have happened on sets, but there haven't really ever actually been any specifics of what has been done. He's calling out Warner Brothers. He's calling out Joss Whedon. He's brought Jeff Johns into this. He's brought the president of Warner Brothers into this as of late, and just saying there was stuff that happened on set that shouldn't have happened. It was like a toxic work environment, supposedly. And, he's saying that these people are at fault for something and they need to, be reprimanded for it. And I think that, if he is in the right, if Ray Fisher is in the right, and the execs at Warner Brothers kind of let something slide that shouldn't have slid, then, obviously they need to be, that stuff needs to be taken care of. But also you have to remember, this movie had a deadline to meet. This movie was going through reshoots, and you're not always going to have the best working conditions when you're under a time crunch like that, So I have a feeling that the truth lies somewhere in the middle, obviously. I don't want to pick a side, obviously, right now, because we don't know the full context. We don't know everything yet. There's still an ongoing investigation into all of this. We don't know if Warner Brothers is in the right. We don't know if Ray Fisher is in the right. But what I'm thinking is it's somewhere in the middle. I'm thinking there was some sort of disagreement between Ray Fisher and Joss Whedon, maybe about Cyborg's character in the movie, maybe, something that Ray Fisher wanted changed that just couldn't be changed because of the time crunch that everybody was under. Maybe something like that happened. Maybe it was that simple that he wanted something changed that couldn't be changed, and it kind of got on his nerves. Maybe there was an argument. Maybe, who knows? Who knows what happened? Then maybe Ray Fisher brought it up with some of the higher-ups. He brought it up to Jeff Johns. He brought it up to, the Warner Brothers president at the time, and they didn't want to do anything about it until Ray Fisher kind of made it public. It's like, hey, it was a bad work environment, and now they're investigating it. So, again, there's not too much information on it. I did just want to mention it because it's a big story going on right now. But again, it's kind of a watch this space. I don't want to pick any sides. I don't want to say what really went on because we don't know what went on. It's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of he said, she said, this could have happened, that could have happened. I don't know. I don't know. And that's kind of where we are right now with this. It's Ray Fisher versus Warner Brothers. And I don't know. I don't really know what is going on with this right now. And it's interesting. It's an interesting story to see develop, especially because now, a couple of days ago, the story also came out that while this investigation is going on, Ray Fisher is also kind of negotiating his return for the Flash movie. Now, this goes back to stuff that we heard years ago when the Flash movie was supposed to have been out like 2 years ago, you know? So this stuff goes back a while. So originally Cyborg was supposed to appear in the Flash movie. Then the Flash movie got delayed a whole bunch, and we're where we are now. Is it's going to be a Flashpoint movie now. Obviously, there is room for Cyborg in a Flashpoint movie. But I just think it's interesting that Ray Fisher has decided to kind of stand his ground and go to war with this giant company, Warner Brothers, and put his neck on the line, put his career on the line, and say, take a stand and say, hey, these guys did something wrong. I want the whole world to know about it. So I think, you know, if Warner Brothers really is at fault, I hope that they're held accountable. And I hope that Ray Fisher gets the compensation that he's seeking from all of this. But there's a big but here. If Ray Fisher is maybe blowing this out of proportion, if nothing that crazy really happened, then I don't know what is really going to come of this, you know? I don't think it's going to, like, destroy his career or anything, but it could kind of hurt his credibility sometimes if we find that he's kind of blowing this stuff out of proportion. And again, I don't want to say one person's right, the other person's wrong. We don't know enough right now. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there and say there's a lot going on with this Ray Fisher versus Warner Brothers thing, and we don't really know the full story yet. And it's a watch this space kind of situation. That's really all I can say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Best of luck to Ray Fisher on this, because I thought he was good as Cyborg. I think he's a good actor, and I think he deserves to be heard in this. If they really wronged him, I think he needs to, you know, get the compensation he wants from it. But if not, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but that's just pretty much what I know. That's kind of what's out there right now. Just, again, kind of a watch this space sort of situation on that. But onto a bit happier news, away from the kind of corporate side of things, away from the DC and Warner Brothers and everything. Something happy, but something that could also kind of, you know, kill your wallet as well. The new RTX cards were revealed this week, and we've got the RTX 3070, the 3080, and the 3090. These cards are insane, guys. They really are. They're crazy. The 3070 is equivalent... What is it? It's equivalent to 2 2080s or something? The 3070... Hold on, let's see. If they say it here. Get where the sort of breakdown was, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm accurate in saying this, but the 3070 is equivalent to like 2 2080s. The 3080 is equivalent to... Oh, no. This is what it is. The 3070 is better than the 2080 Ti. The 3080 is equivalent to 2 2080s. And then the 3090 is equivalent to 2 Titan GPU, or to 1.5 Titan GPUs, might I say. That's insane. These GPUs are super duper powerful. But with that power also comes a price. The 3070 is $499. The 3080 is $699. And the 3090 is $1499. Pretty expensive stuff there. But if you put it into context with what they're replacing, if you can get a 3070 for $500, which is better than the $1,200 2080 Ti currently. That is an absolute steal of a deal. Like, you're going to get some serious power in your PC for the same price as a next-gen console. And it's going to be much better than that next-gen console, as long as you have equivalent hardware in there to kind of, you know, work with it. As long as you have a decent enough processor, good enough, a good enough amount of RAM and everything. But, you know, I think these new GPUs are insane. Like, I've become, I guess you can say I've become kind of a PC guy as of late. I've been doing most of my gaming on PC. I don't think I've actually touched any of my consoles in months at this point. I've been doing pretty much just PC gaming as of late. Been doing a lot of research on these cards after they were announced, and the future is now, guys. with these cards, the future is now. It's gonna be crazy. The next gen consoles don't even have prices yet, and then Nvidia just came out and said, "Hey, we've got some new GPUs. They're pretty freaking insane, and they're gonna compete with the prices of these next gen consoles that haven't even been revealed yet. The prices haven't been revealed yet for these consoles." And we now know that Nvidia has something that is equivalent, if not much, much better. And that's the whole reason why I've gone with PC gaming recently, is PCs are just insane, guys. But yeah, I mean, currently on my rig, I'm going with a I've got a 1070. I've had a 1070 in my computer ever since I got it. I got this computer 4 years ago, I want to say now. So it's getting up there in age as far as a PC goes. I think computers are supposed to last anywhere from like 3 to 6 years before the parts become kind of obsolete and everything. So I'm seriously considering it. I am seriously considering upgrading with these cards, especially with the entry-level 3070 at $500 being better than the top-of-the-line 2080 Ti currently. There's just not much better you can do. Not to mention, if you want to spend a little bit more money, get the 3080, which is the equivalent of having two 2080s in your computer, which would be insane for like gaming and streaming and all of that stuff. So, and then the 3090, let's not even get started on the 3090, which is just an absolute unit of a GPU. For $1,500, you have the equivalent of 1.5 Titan GPUs in your computer. That's insane. I'm not really sure what I would do with all that graphics processing power in my computer, but you know, I think the best way to wrap this part up is it's safe to say that with these new NVIDIA GPUs, you could definitely run Crysis. You could definitely run Crysis, and yeah, I think that that's all that matters. Is can it run Crysis? And I think the answer is yes. I really do. I really do. But yeah, that's enough with talking about these super expensive GPUs that I definitely can't afford right now. But you know, we'll see. We'll see in the future one day. Maybe we'll be getting maybe we'll be seeing a PC build or something. I think that would be really fun. What do you guys think? Is that something that you'd like to see? Would you like to see me build a PC one day? Because I would really love to do that. And if I were to do it and I made it into a video, I don't know. Would you guys like to see it? Let me know down there. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun. But let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about Star Wars. There was a picture going around. Let's actually go over to StarWars.com right now. Let's see. Webcam will be in the way, but we will move myself up there. And then we will transition. Very cool. Very cool like that. So anyway, High Republic stuff. We got our first look at High Republic Yoda. Now, my boy's looking pretty awesome in the High Republic. Like look at him. Look at this man. There's little baby Yoda here. There's High Republic Yoda over there. He's looking really cool. I think, I wasn't keeping up too much on all of this High Republic stuff, but I think it's going to be cool. I really do. I think it's cool going back. How far back are they actually going? Let's see. How far back in the timeline are they going? Does it say in the article? Does it say? No, it doesn't. Doesn't say. Oh, okay. So this Yoda is supposed to be around 700 years old instead of 900. So we're going back a couple hundred years. If I did my math right, yes, I did. We're going back 200 years. High Republic, a couple hundred years before the original trilogy. I think that that's really cool. I think that's really cool. It's going to be interesting to see how different Yoda is. I'm not sure how big of a role he's going to have in these High Republic stories, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're going back. I know the big thing, we all want Old Republic. We all love Knights of the Old Republic era. That's like 1,000 years, 2,000 years, something like that. Something crazy like that. A couple thousand years or 1,000 years in the past from the start of the normal Star Wars timeline. But I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that we're at least getting High Republic. They're dipping their toes into the water of going back in time in the Star Wars universe and telling us stories from before the prequels, before the original trilogy. And I think that if this is received well, I think that then leaves the door open for the possibility of maybe Old Republic stuff soon. Maybe. Possibly. Hopefully. Hopefully we see Revan. Hopefully we see Revan at some point. Or there... I mean, who knows? I'm not really sure what the state of Star Wars canon is currently, but maybe there's a possibility that we could see them maybe change up some things and bring some of these classic Old Republic storylines that we love into the High Republic. I don't know. I think that could be pretty cool. But, yeah, anyway, I think High Republic Yoda is very awesome. I think he looks great. Look this great at, if he looks this great at 700, you know, I don't think any of us would look that great at 700. Just being honest. But, but yeah, don't want to ramble too much on the Yoda stuff, but, yeah. Anyway, I think High Republic looks like it's going to be pretty great. I really do. But, yeah, High Republic Yoda, pretty awesome. Continuing on with Star Wars stuff. And, this little fella right here. Mando and Baby Yoda. Mando Season 2. We did finally get a release date for Season 2's premiere. It's going to premiere on October 30th. That's fairly soon. Fairly soon. It seems like it's going to be pretty far away, but it's fairly soon. And given that it is fairly soon, I would definitely expect to see a trailer or some promotional stuff very soon. We have that little like promotional poster that has it just says the Mandalorian. It has Din Djarin and it has Baby Yoda. And it looks more or less like the promotional image for last season, just updated, and it has Baby Yoda on it this time. Whereas last season it didn't have Baby Yoda because we didn't know about Baby Yoda until after the first episode. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be really fun. And yeah, also, 1 second. Oh yeah, you guys didn't notice, Baby Yoda mug, pretty awesome. Very cool. But anyway, Mando season 2 stuff. We're supposedly getting Ahsoka. We're supposedly getting Tamora Morrison back as possibly Rex, possibly Boba Fett, possibly both. We're getting a lot more from Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. It's going to be very interesting to see kind of what his backstory is. And I've been doing some thinking on that. I've seen some theories. I've seen some speculation. Who is Moff Gideon? Is he possibly a Mandalorian? Is that why he has the Darksaber? Does he think that he has some right to the Darksaber? Another character that we're going to see, Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan was the last person that we saw in canon with the Darksaber. She got it at the end of Rebels. So what happened to her? Did Moff Gideon fight her? Did they have some sort of like trial by combat and he won the Darksaber? And if he beat Bo-Katan in combat and got the Darksaber, is she dead? Is she only being brought back in like a flashback? I don't know. That's going to be kind of interesting. But I'm very excited. Mando Season 1 is something that I unfortunately didn't get to talk about very much on the channel, if at all. I don't think I ever ended up making a Mandalorian video. Might have talked about it kind of in passing or something, but it never really made a full-on video for it. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I think that it could be the best thing that Disney has put out on, like, since they've bought Star Wars. Personally, I think The Mandalorian is the best Disney Star Wars thing that's out there right now, currently. And I think that it has to do with the fact that it's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, you know? Dave Filoni, obviously, he is the guy that we have to thank for the Clone Wars and Rebels. He is kind of like George Lucas's apprentice in a way, you know? It was them. It was George Lucas and Dave Filoni on Clone Wars, and you know, he's really the reason why Clone Wars and Rebels and all that stuff, that they were so popular. He was kind of like he's the head honcho there for those shows, you know. And him being so closely involved with The Mandalorian, I think that's great. He's kind of made that transition into working on live action stuff, and then obviously Jon Favreau being you know a big into working on this show as well. Obviously, he's made some great stuff in the past too. Like, obviously, he directed Iron Man. You know, like he is another guy that is, you know, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff, and he knows how to make a movie, which means he knows how to make a TV show. And he knows the universe. I think he voiced somebody in the Clone Wars, I want to say. And yeah, so like it, and obviously, and also he was in Solo. He was whatever the like the four-armed monkey dude. I don't know what his name was. Rio? Was his name Rio? I don't know. Anyway, he was in Solo as well. But yeah, I just think The Mandalorian has a really great team behind it. And Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon. I think that's going to be great to see more of him in season 2 as well. And supposedly it's going to be Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Ahsoka's supposedly going to be in season 2 of The Mandalorian as well. Possibly there to set up her own series, which could be awesome as well. There's just a lot of stuff to love about the Mando, and I'm very excited. I cannot wait until we get our first look at season 2. Definitely going to try to do a reaction for for the trailer whenever that drops, whenever Disney decides to just like, you know, say, hey, here it is, here's the trailer. I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited for it. There's not much to go off of, but I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think that the Mando coming out this year, it could save 2020. Mando and Baby Yoda. I think they could save 2020 for sure. But yeah, continuing on with Star Wars stuff. The last kind of I don't want to say controversial topic, but the last kind of real talk topic. Real talk topic. If you guys have been on social media recently, I'm sure you're aware of the John Boyega stuff that's going on, with John Boyega basically kind of calling out Star Wars on all of their stuff. Like, pretty much saying, hey, you guys marketed me. You marketed my character. You marketed Finn in The Force Awakens as a much bigger character than he ended up becoming. And they kind of pushed him to the sidelines, and he never ended up kind of really seeing the light of day and never really met his full potential in the sequel trilogy. And there are a lot of other things that he said. But I do want to preface this by saying I'm not the biggest sequel trilogy fan. I enjoy the movies. I'll watch them. I like them. The prequels are my favorite. I love the original trilogy as well. And I love the sequels to an extent. It's Star Wars. What's not to love? But John Boyega does have a point, and I kind of see why I didn't like the sequels as much as maybe some other people. I think he's right as far as to pull this argument, and it makes a lot more sense now why he seemed kind of bitter towards Star Wars once Episode 9 came out and everything. And it's because they kind of did him dirty, you know? Is they built his character up to be this lead. They built him up as like this stormtrooper that defects from the First Order and could become a Jedi. Like, if you guys remember back to that first Force Awakens trailer, you didn't see Rey with the lightsaber. You saw Finn with the lightsaber. And they kind of pulled a bait and switch on us, you know? Like, obviously he filmed this movie. He knew what was going to happen. But Finn had that lightsaber at the end. They kind of set things up. It's like, oh, you know, maybe the Force also awakened in him, you know? But then they ended up kind of pushing him to the side in favor of making Rey the lead character of the trilogy, and then Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, had a lot larger role in Episode 8, and then by the time we got to Episode 9, he was pretty much just a side character. Finn was pretty much just a side character and kind of pushed off to the side. No more development in the, is he Force sensitive, is he not? And then, you know, obviously things came out saying that he was going to say that he was Force sensitive, but it wasn't in the movies, so is that really canon? I don't know. I don't know, you know? I really don't know what to kind of say on that. But yeah, I enjoyed John Boyega in these movies. I enjoyed Finn. I thought for what we got, he was great. And then obviously there's also that kind of that representation angle, you know? He could have been the first kind of lead Jedi, or like if they were going to go down the route of him being a Jedi, he could have been the first kind of, you know, black lead in a Star Wars film that was a Jedi, that was, you know, not Mace Windu in the prequels, that was just kind of like a side character, but he could have been like the main guy. And it was a great story that they set up too, is like he, like I said before, he defected from the First Order, Force could have awakened inside of him, and then he is the hero of the trilogy. that could have been interesting. I think it really could have. I think Lucasfilm and Star Wars definitely missed an opportunity by making Finn a side character. Now, if I were to rewrite the sequels, would I have had it with like all the same characters, but just rewrite it, make it the way that I would have wanted it? Would I have made Finn the main character? I don't know. I think it could have been great to have Finn as obviously the lead Jedi, to have this representation. You know, I'm all for representation in movies. I think that would be that's awesome. I think it's great when you have diversity in casts, and you know, you have these people in leads that you don't normally get to see lead a show or lead a movie, or you know, again, there's nothing against that. I think that's great. But would I have made Finn the lead of these movies? Maybe not. Maybe not, but again, I could have. You know, you could definitely make that argument that he would have been the better choice to be the lead. I guess we'll never really know. I feel really bad for John Boyega. Like, he is a huge Star Wars fan, it seems like. And just to have Lucasfilm movie after movie make his role in each of these films smaller and smaller and smaller as the trilogy went on, it sucks, man. It really sucks that they pushed him to the side, and they advertised him as having a lot larger role than he actually ended up having. And it's just unfortunate. But I think John Boyega's great. I think he's got a great career ahead of him, especially with all of these sort of, you know, all of this speaking out that he's done in the past. Getting really real here for a second. All the speaking out against, you know, injustices and everything that John Boyega has done in the past. I think he's got a bright career ahead of him. I don't think that, while it's unfortunate that his role was lessened in Star Wars, I don't think that that's going to hurt him going forward. I think that everything that's happened is going to help propel his career forward. I really do. And I wish him the best. And, you know, I would have loved to see more of Finn. I would have loved to see his character expanded upon a lot more in these movies, but it is what it is. We got what we got, and there's no changing it at this point. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but the sequel trilogy is what the sequel trilogy is at this point, and there's no changing it, unfortunately. That is it for the Baby Yoda tea, by the way. We're coming up on an hour as well. So, time to kind of wrap this stuff up right now. Or shortly. Time to wrap stuff up pretty shortly here. But the last topic that I wanted to talk about tonight was something that I did originally intend on kind of, you know, bouncing off ideas with my brother, but obviously he's not here tonight. He will be back next week, in case you missed the beginning of the stream where I said that he wasn't here. Like, I mean, obviously he's not here right now, but you know, he will be back next week if you guys miss him. But yeah, the last topic that I wanted to talk about was the Marvel's Avengers game. Now, the Avengers game came out on, I think, the 4th of September. So, what is it now? The 6th? It came out a couple days ago. But it came out on the 1st for everybody that pre-ordered the deluxe edition. So it's been out for almost a week now. With all things considered. It's been out for almost a week. People have been playing it. If you're wondering, I have actually not been playing it. And you might be wondering, hey, you played the beta. What happened? You said that you pre-ordered it. What happened? Well, after the first beta weekend, after the video that I made on it, I actually ended up canceling my pre-order. And that's because the game just wasn't up to snuff on PC for me. I wanted to play this game on PC where I got the sort of, best graphical settings possible. I wanted to, enjoy the story. The story looks like it's great from what I played. It looked like it would be a really great story from what I've heard now that the game has been out. It seems like it's a great story. But I just can't justify spending all that money paying for a full price game that is not finished. If you look at any of these clips online of people posting like glitches and just like things wrong with the game has launched in, I don't want to say a completely broken state, because there are games that have launched in much worse states than Avengers is currently in. It seems like it's a little bit better than it was during the beta, but it's still not perfect. And now, obviously, a game's not going to launch and it's not going to be perfect, but this game has been delayed quite a bit. It was supposed to come out at the beginning of the year, and then it got delayed till now, until September, and it had a beta, and it still came out in a very unpolished, unfinished state. And it's nothing against Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics, the people behind the game. It's nothing against them. I think that they have a great idea for a game. I think on the surface level, a Avengers game that has a single player story that you can also play co-op missions with afterwards, have your friends hop in and play as all these different Avengers, I think that that's a great idea for a game. I think the concept is there. I think that I think it's great that this game is out. But just the finished product, or the finished product right now, is just not up to snuff for what I would think a giant AAA Avengers game should be. It's very basic. There's not much you can do as far as like combat and things. It's very simple, it's very linear, it's very basic. You go through, you do the campaign, you unlock some skins, you unlock some abilities, you have some very simple skill trees for all of your characters, and then you can go online, and then you can play with your friends, you can go and do missions together to, get XP, to get gear, to get resources. And my other issue, the monetization in this game, it's bad. It's really bad. Monetization in these games have just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's unfortunate. It really is. I would have loved to play this game. I really would have, but spending $60 for a game that's not finished to play through the campaign for 6 or 7 hours, and then go online, play a little bit, play with your friends. And then if you want a cool costume for one of these characters, you want a cool skin, you're going to have to pay $14 or something in the store for a skin? What are you thinking? What were they thinking when they came up with these prices? These are a little ridiculous. I know Call of Duty and stuff with their battle passes, $10 for the battle pass, $24 for a crazy character pack or whatever. There's not great practices in right now with a lot of the current games, but I would have thought that they would have been aware of that people don't like this type of stuff. And then now they're announcing that, there's going to be characters coming to the game post-launch, obviously. It's obviously going to happen. We're going to get more Avengers. It's going to be fun, I think, to play as all these other characters. I want to get this game at some point. I'm going to probably get it when it goes on sale one day, just to play through the story and experience it for myself. But the other thing that kind of discourages me from wanting to buy this game is that when these characters come out, you have this battle pass system to unlock gear. You don't have to purchase everything separately, but there's a battle pass that you rank up while you play as these characters, And for the base 5 Avengers, for the characters that are in the game at launch, you don't have to pay anything extra for these. But in all of the post-launch character packs, for Hawkeye, for Kate Bishop, for whoever else they add later in the game's life cycle, if you want any of these extra character skins, if you want these like calling cards or emblems or whatever the heck they're going to put in these battle passes, you're going to have to fork over like, I think $10 per character, which is outrageous when you think, when they say that they're going to add like upwards of 20 plus characters. There's no way I would spend that much money on this game, especially when it doesn't seem to have crazy replay value either. And if they do what they do in Modern Warfare, when, like, you know, the season that they added the Alex skin, so you buy the battle pass for $10, and it's like, you know, they advertise it, it's like, oh, it instantly unlock the Alex operator. You pay your $10, you get your battle pass, but you have Alex and he's got this mask on. You can't tell who he is. He looks exactly like all the other operators in Modern Warfare at that time. But if you want Alex to look like he did in the campaign, you got to get all the way up to tier 100. You got to grind all that way up just to get that skin that you wanted, just to get the character looking the way you originally thought the character should look when it was advertised to you. Now, if they do that for Avengers, I'm not saying that they will do that, but I wouldn't put it past them. You know, I wouldn't put it past them to release the Hawkeye character, and that cool Hawkeye suit that we saw in the reveal trailer, maybe that's his max battle pass tier skin, and he, you know, you get the Hawkeye character for free, and the only skin that you can use is him in like a t-shirt and jeans or something like that. Now, would they do that? Maybe. There would probably be a lot of uproar from fans and stuff, but I don't know. I've just kind of gone off on a tangent here. I don't want to like say that I hate the Avengers game or anything, because I don't. I enjoyed the beta. I had fun when it worked. I'm going to buy it eventually. This is not me saying I'm boycotting the game. This is not me saying don't go buy the game. If you want it, go buy it, go play it. It seems like it has a great campaign. If you have friends to play it with friends. It looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it is fun. But it's just not in the best state right now. It's just not... It's not ready, I don't think. Oh. I'm out of tea. Hold on. I forgot about that. Water. But yeah, overall, I think the Avengers game has potential. It definitely has potential. I saw that potential in the beta. It looks like they've definitely improved from the beta to the current build of the game. And I'm excited for all these characters to come out. Like I've said before, I love Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye looks great. I think Kate Bishop looks great. I think that it's going to be fun to play as all these new characters, but again, I just don't think it's a game that you can justify paying full price for. It just isn't ready. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for the stream. I got through all my stream topics there. That went on a lot longer than I thought. I somehow was able to carry the stream all by myself. I'm very proud of myself for that. But yeah, the stream's gone on for about an hour now. Going to wrap it up. If anybody has anything else to add, throw it down there in the chat, and I will definitely answer it before we go. But if nobody else has anything to say, if that's about it, then I think that that's it, and I think that yeah, I think we'll wrap up the stream there. So we'll give like another minute, and then I think that's it. This was fun tonight, though. Oh yeah, also let me know down there in the comments what you think of the or in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about the new layout, the kind of solo layout. It's kind of cool. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for this episode of the Legion Lounge. The stream will be available for playback as soon as it finishes rendering. So if you've missed any parts of the stream, or you're just joining us and you missed the entire stream and you want to go back and see what I talked about earlier, the stream will be available for playback as soon as it is done processing on YouTube. But until next time, guys, it's been Tazz. Thanks for coming to the Legion Lounge, and I will see you guys in the next stream.